Well, hi everyone. Thanks for coming along, and welcome to tonight's webinar. And right at the front, off the bat, I wanted to thank you for coming along. I know it's cold in Canberra. It's after work, and I really appreciate you coming along tonight. But I hope what I can do is share with you some insights into something that I'm really passionate about, because it's something that has been an issue for me for as long as I can remember, and for that reason, I wanted to start this program. And look, we've treated weight loss over the years, and we've treated it really successfully. But there's always been a couple of things for me that have been lacking, and those are the things that I wanted to address. And we're going to talk about that as we go along tonight. I'm going to try and get through this pretty quickly. I don't want to keep you any longer than we have to, but I do want to make sure that we cover everything we need to in order to make this program really clear, and to see whether it's for you or not. And I say right at the outset, if for any reason this is not for you, that's totally fine. That's really cool. And but by the same token, if it resonates with you in some way, then I'd love to have you on board, because I really believe that this will make a big difference. It's made a big difference to me. It's made a big difference to the patients that we've treated already, and I think it'll make a big difference to you. So what I'm doing, a couple of housekeeping things. Straight away, I apologise if kids burst in the room. I apologise if things kind of technically go a bit crazy. It's the beauty of modern technology, but also the downfall of modern technology. Hopefully, you can hear me. Just out of interest, if anyone can't hear me, just put a post up and let me know. You should have a dashboard next to you. And you can write in there if you can't hear me, but hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. Everything seems to be working really well from my end, which is a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my presentation, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to do that right now. So bear with me as I just switch screens. Okay. Here we go. Look, I've called it the weight loss answer because I think for most, if not all of us who are struggling or have been struggling with weight loss, we really are looking for answers, and it can be a very difficult question, a difficult one to find the right answer to. And I think if you're anything like me, you've probably tried a lot of things over the years, and some of them will have worked, some of them will have worked okay, some of them won't have worked at all. But for the most part, the things that even the things that work tend to work in a very short-term kind of a way. So what we're looking for is an answer to weight loss, not just a band-aid solution. And if you've been a patient of mine in the clinic, or you've kind of had it with us, you'll know that we're about solutions more than we are about band. I'm not keen in general on finding a quick cover-up. I'm much more interested in finding what the issue is and trying to solve it to the best of our ability. So really the weight loss answer is about that. Okay, so tonight we're going to cover a couple of things. The first one is, well, why should you listen to me at all? It's a really good question, and I'm going to answer that in a second. And then we're going to move on to the four non-negotiables of this particular program. Two of them are not inventions at all. It's not going to be very surprising if we're going to talk about diet and activity or exercise. But the other two are a little bit different. And we're going to talk a little bit about the program and how it works, and then you're going to have the opportunity to ask some questions as well. Okay, so that's the way that we're going to run tonight. We'll try and get through it reasonably quick fire, so that we're out of here reasonably on time. All right, so let's power in. Well, why should you listen to me? Look, there's a couple of reasons. You know, I look around at the other weight loss programs that are around, you know, and there are some really big ones out there based on TV shows and all sorts, and you know, they're generally run by skinny, fit people, and to me, it lacks a little bit of credibility. Yes, they have results that you can look at on television, but sorts of results are based on, basically working on diet and exercise 24/7, which is not practical for us, not practical for me. So my presumption is it's not practical for you. We need to find a better solution. So why listen to me? Well, because I've done it. I've been there. Look, 4 or 5 years ago, at Christmas, I was home at Christmas with my family, and I'd be reluctant to even tell you what I weighed. I was, very hard for me to even get on the dolls, but I was miserable. And I remember going home after Christmas, and I really didn't enjoy Christmas because of how I felt about myself, and it was a really big low point for me. And it was despite the clinic going well, despite my patients doing well, despite having a beautiful family, and all of that really wasn't contributing to me being able to find an answer for this particular question. And I remember getting home that after that Christmas. I'll just come back to me. I remember coming home at the end of that Christmas and being really hurt. And I don't remember if it was something somebody said. More likely it was coming directly from me. And what I did was I jumped online and I made some decisions to make change in my life. I really needed to, and I found a couple of programs online that talked about an exercise together, and I found one that made sense to me. I started it. I stuck with it, and amazingly enough, to me at the time, it worked. And I added into that some Chinese medicine stuff, some herbal medicine, some acupuncture, the things that I know from a treatment perspective. And I followed this program, and it worked. And the most surprising thing to me was how easy it was. Now, this is crazy. I spent 40 years trying to lose the weight, and in the space of 3 months, it was pretty much gone. And we're talking about, very, very close to 30 kilos. And in that time, I've kept it off. Despite my, the heading on one of the emails that I've put 5 kilos on, this is true, but it's entirely my own fault. But I'm super keen to get rid of it. But I'm still, even given that, I'm still 25 kilos than I was 4 years ago. So I feel incredibly empowered to take this process forward and to give it to you. So why should you listen to me? Because my credibility comes from the fact that I've done it. We've then rolled it into a program or a plan that has worked for other patients. It's worked for many, many patients. And the places where it hasn't worked for patients let me back up a little bit. Where it hasn't worked for patients, and I've analysed why, that basis for this program, and particularly the two things that are going to be different about this program, okay? Because there's no point making a start and fail. I want you to make a start and succeed, and I want to do it with you, because damn it, I'm going to lose that 5 to 6 kilos, get back to where I want it to be, and I want to do it with you every step of the way. So that's absolutely why you should listen to me. Okay, I'm just going to duck back to the presentation. All right. And the second reason is that I have clinical expertise. This is something we've been trialling in the clinic over the last few years. Works very well. We've had patients in the clinic. I've had remote patients in other states who follow the program and done super well. It's just an exciting time to really get our teeth stuck in. So that's really why you should listen to me, because you know what? I've done it, and I'm going to do it again. And, if you want to come along the ride with me, I would love to have your company. All right. So what are the 4 parts? The first part, and this is perhaps one of the ones that is different, is that we take a Chinese medicine approach. So we don't just look at diet and exercise on its own. We're going to look at, well, what can we do to the body that's going to turbo boost your metabolism, if you like. We're going to look at you and say, right, what is it about your diet, your lifestyle, your body, your physiology that's making this, for whatever reason, harder? and let's address that. And we're going to use our Chinese medicine tools, acupuncture, herbal medicine, and advice in that department in terms of diet, particularly. That's going to make the biggest difference to you. The second thing we're going to work on is, and we'll talk about this in more detail. You know what? I've tried diets. I know you've tried diets. Guess what? Diets don't work. They flat out don't work. It's not possible. It's not doable. They just don't work. But, and we're going to get into this in a minute, but changing your diet is the key to this working, because if you can fundamentally change the way you see food and the way you eat food and the sort of food you eat, boy, you're gonna notice some big differences. And I've gone on again. I've put on 5 kilos in the last 18 months, and that annoys me, but I know exactly why. And it comes down to some of the food that's crept back into my diet that really shouldn't be there. It doesn't belong. Part 3 is about reprioritizing activity. And if you're scared of the word exercise, and some people are, but let's use the word activity. Let's make sure that if you're not exercising regularly, that you're at least being active regularly. Okay, and that's really important. And part 4 is the part that I'm perhaps most excited about, and that's about, oops, it's gone too far forward. Let me just go forward again. Part 4 is about changing your mindset, because you can have a crack at your diet, you can have a crack at the activity, you can take the Chinese medicine approach, but if you don't change the way that you think and feel about yourself and about food, it's just not going to be sustainable. So changing your mindset is absolutely critical. All right. So who's this program for? This is really important, because I don't have all the answers. And if this isn't for you, that's cool. But, this is for people who, have struggled with weight. And could have been for a long time, could have been for a short time, might be after children, might just be the way it's always been for me. It's just, it's always been a bit that way. But really got bad, because I've got to sit, very careful. Or it's very easy for me to have a sedentary lifestyle because, I sit down to the desk and I treat patients all day. And I eat too much. That's my problem, okay? So, struggle with weight. So if you struggle with weight, this program's for you. If you've tried and you feel like you've failed at dieting and exercising, this program is definitely for you. But on the flip side of that, who will not suit this program? This is a big one. If you fall into these categories, then it's not for you. Flat out won't work. So if you're someone who already knows all the answers, and I hear this a lot, and I've been this person myself. Oh, yeah, I know that. Well, I've tried that, it didn't work. Oh, I do eat really well. Look, if you've got the answers, then go and implement them and make it work on your own. Because this program won't work unless you're ready, unless you're prepared to change. This won't work because I'm going to ask you to make significant change to life. And quite frankly, that was the thing that I needed to commit to change when I made my change. When I lost the weight, and you've got to do the same. So if you already know the answers, this isn't going to be for you. If you're not ready to start from the beginning, this isn't going to work because this is a ground-up program. We're going to revisit, we're going to rekindle, we're going to rebuild everything. And some of it you will know, and that's okay. Prior knowledge is helpful, but what we're going to do is, or what I need you to be, is open to starting at the beginning. And this is perhaps the biggest one. If you're not prepared to make changes, then this isn't going to work. And look, I say this to patients, I say it to my children, I say it to my business coaching clients. You know what? I say it to myself. If you want a different result, yeah, you got to change something, because I can't guarantee a lot of things, but I can guarantee you this: if you do the same stuff, you're going to get the same results. So if you want to lose weight, and you want to lose a lot of weight, you got to make some serious change. So if you're not prepared and ready to make change, really ready, then this program is definitely not for you. So what's the big problem? Well, the big problem is, for most of us, weight. Yeah? And that's the obvious answer, isn't it? Or maybe it's that we eat too much, we eat the wrong stuff, or maybe our metabolism is no good. And I've thought about this a lot over the years, and you know what? The big problem isn't the weight. The weight is a byproduct of you and I. If this is a problem, it's a problem because of what we're eating, what we're doing to ourselves. And why do we do that? It's a problem with mindset. And the first thing we need to change is the way we think about things. And that's why I said this program isn't for you if you're not prepared to change, because the first and most fundamental change you need to make to address the big problem is that you've got to be prepared to change yourself. And that's really scary. And, you know, I don't know whether you're squirming in your seat a little bit now because I'm going to ask you to make changes in your life. You should be, because this is the thing that we as people find the hardest, making changes. So really the big problem when it comes to losing weight is not what we're eating, it's not the weight, it's us. We need to make the changes. Okay, so what's the solution? Well, part of the problem is you've done it all before, yeah? Well, look, if you've done it before and you've struggled, then we've got to do things differently. Now, let me ask you these questions. And think about this for a minute. What I want you to do actually, close your eyes. Don't look at the screen. Listen to these questions. What would it mean to you to fix this problem? How much would it be worth for you to lose this weight? How much better would you feel if you reached your goals? And this is the big one. What are you prepared to do to make the changes that are necessary to achieve your goals? This is massive. And I keep coming back to this idea about change, but it's the thing that I want you to take on board most of all. The biggest thing that you can take away from today, whether you come on my program or another program or you do nothing, is that to get a different result downstream, you've got to change something upstream. And a small change equals a small change. It's really obvious, you know. A big change equals a big change. So for me, the big changes were eliminating a lot of carbohydrates. You know, and things that I quite liked, chocolate, bread, pasta, dairy, you know what, I can't eat them in any quantity because I know what the result is, and it's not the result I want. So those were some of the changes that I had to make. And I've kept those changes more or less in check, and it's kept everything where it should be, which is terrific. All right, so you've got to make change, and I don't want you to be scared of change, because what we're going to do is, and this was the thing that has been missing and is missing in, I think, most weight loss programs, whether they're at gyms or online or, you know, Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or whatever. It's a little bit of hand holding, and I'll, you know, if you've been a patient with me recently, you might have heard me say something like, I take a carrot and a stick approach. Yeah, I dangle a carrot to give you the motivation, and follow it up with a motivational tap and a kick in the pants when you need it. In terms of what do you need to succeed? If we need to take you by the hand, we'll do it. If you need a little bit of motivation, we're there for you. That's the difference. That's the thing that's going to keep this or make this program very different. All right. Back to my presentation. Here we go. So, what I'd like to do is break a couple of myths, because there's a lot of myths around losing weight. Let's have a look at some of them. Fruit will help you lose weight. You know what? Fruit is so good for you, but it's sugar. It doesn't help you lose weight. And in terms of making change, and this is a little bit controversial, but again, let me make this really clear. Fruit is super, super good for you. But people go on a fruit-only diet and wonder why they don't lose weight in the long term, because it's not sustainable and you're just filling your body with sugar. Cardio will help you lose weight. You know what? It will help you lose weight, but it's not the most important thing. In the past, I've done cardio until the cows come home. I could run 10Ks, I could run 15Ks. And did I lose weight? Yeah, I did, but was it long-term and sustainable? No, it wasn't. Why? Because on its own, it just won't cut the mustard. You've got to have all of those four elements. 3 hours a day in the gym will help you lose weight. Look, this is a biggie. A lot of people go to the gym and think they've got to spend hours and hours and hours. You know what? 20 minutes in the gym, half an hour in the gym, that is all you need. Get in, work like blazers, and get the hell out of there. That's the best way to go to the gym. I was actually in the gym myself today. And, I spend 30 minutes in there, 40 minutes sometimes, and see people are in there when I arrive, they're still there when I leave, and I bet you if I came back an hour later, they're still there because they're talking, they're gas bagging, they're not doing any work. That's not going to help them lose the weight. Get in and get out. All carbohydrates are bad. No, they're not. You saw my email carbohydrates. I hope you watched the video. It's a video straight out of the program, which talks about the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates, good and bad carbs. There is a big, big difference. You have to eat less to lose weight. In some ways you do, but it's more about eating the appropriate amount and the right sorts of foods at the right sorts of times. That's going to make the biggest difference. And the last one is, particularly for women, there's some fear that training with weights is going to make you get bigger and bulk up. It just doesn't happen. People, I go to the gym because I want, I like to try and make my muscles bigger. Boy, do I have to work hard to get any change at all. You're not going to go to the gym and suddenly look like Arnold. It's not going to happen. All right. And if you do want to, and if there's, for the guys on the call, if you do want to look like Arnold, it's possible, but boy, it's hard work. All right. So it depends what your goals are. Goal number 1, let's lose the weight first. All right. So let's talk about the 4 pillars. You can't do without these. Pillar number 1, Chinese medicine approach. Pillar number 2, you must change your diet. And when I say change your diet, you are not going on a diet. Your diet is how you eat, and retrain to eat differently. Part 3, you must prioritize exercise, but not just any exercise, the right sort of exercise, the right sort of activity. Number 4, you've got to change your mindset. Because if you don't, you can have all, the best intentions, but if your mindset is not right, boy, not going to work. Okay, so we can look a little bit more in detail. What is the Chinese medicine approach? Look, basically what we're going to do is we're going to run through a 12-week program. So the Weight Loss Answer is a 12-week program. It includes acupuncture and herbal medicine. Unsurprisingly, that's kind of what we do. And I know from experience that weekly treatment with acupuncture and herbs makes a big difference. Acupuncture, to get the blood flow, to get the weight moving, to get your metabolism working, and the herbal medicine to help really get your digestive system functioning on all cylinders. And as a part of that, we're going to introduce some diet, some activity advice, so you've got a really clear plan as to the way forward. Okay, so a big part of what we're doing is giving you as much support as you need. All right, so that's the Chinese medicine approach, and part of that will be monitoring and coaching as well. I know we don't like weighing in, but you know what? We need to have a base to look at. I weighed myself this morning. Tick over 90 kilos. I want to be 85 or just under 85. That's my goal. We need to know what your starting weight is. Okay. Part 2, changing your diet. This is a biggie. You know what? The changes in your diet are going to be massive. You're going to eat a really simple but really tasty diet. Because we're changing your diet doesn't mean that it's got to taste bad. You can eat incredibly good food. Tonight I made for dinner teriyaki chicken with a little bit of quinoa and a beautiful pumpkin soup with a little bit of cauliflower and some brown onion. Just beautiful, clean food, very low in fat, good complex carbohydrates, and good quality lean protein source with that chicken. Very, very tasty, correct portion, way we go. Not only that, kids like it too, so the children are starting to learn from day one really good eating habits. Okay, so your food's going to be simple and it's going to be really tasty. One of the things that you're going to have to be is super organized, because you're going to be cooking more than you are at the moment, is my guess. And you need to be organized. You need to shop efficiently and effectively. You need to have a shopping list. You need to have a meal list. You need to prepare food in advance. You've got to be organized. Now, this probably should have gone on the, who is this program not for? If you're not prepared to be organized, this won't work. Okay? Because if you're not organized, guess what? You're not going to have enough food with you. You're going to go to the snack machine. You're going to go to the bakery. It's just not going to work. You must be super organized. And it's going to consist of three things: good quality lean proteins, like the chicken breast I had today, no fat at all. Good quality complex carbohydrates like the quinoa, sweet potato, oats, brown rice, these sorts of things. And good quality vegetables, okay? Clean, fresh, preferably organic, but vegetables, okay? Terrific. All three in correct proportions at the right time of day, and you'll find that you're actually going to eat 5 meals a day. And this is important because when we allow ourselves to get hungry, that's when we go looking for the sugary, fatty foods. So we want to make sure we keep ourselves, or keep our hunger down, and eating regularly, small meals more regularly, will make a big difference. And that comes back to that being organised component as well. All right, part 3. Before we jump into that, let me just pop back to you again. I just wonder, does anyone have any questions at this stage? Yeah. Anyone have any questions? You can put a question, I believe, in the chat box, and I can read it. Everybody's going okay? Let me just type in there just to see that it is working. Any questions? Everyone seems pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. You may have gathered that I'm passionate about this. You know, I'm passionate about lots of things. You know, I'm kind of an optimistic kind of a guy. You know, the thing that really made me, 4 years ago when I made the change, it was really painful. I was at a real low point. And my wife said to me, and she's a really insightful person, and she said, you know what, Alex, you've achieved Thanks for that. All good this end. Excellent. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad it's working too. Terrific. Thank you for that. And my wife said to me, you know what, you're a doer. Okay, that's good. I'm a doer. You're an implementer. Okay, so I implement stuff. You achieve success in every area of your life that you choose to, and that was big for me. Every area of my life that I choose to, I achieve success. So why is it? And this is my wife talking. Why is it in this one area you're failing every time? And that really hurt. You know, that really dented me, and it took me a little while to think that one through. And interestingly, the answer was the reason I was failing was because ultimately, at the end of the day, I was allowing myself to fail. I was not prepared in this one area to make the changes that I absolutely needed to make. And I can't tell you why that is, but I wasn't. I was making bad choices, eating the wrong stuff, eating too much of it, not exercising, and that was another point of pain right there. But you know, when you have that kind of information, when you find something out like that about yourself, you can go one of two ways. You can go down the depression route, and it's really, and in fact, it's really easy to do that, to kind of throw in the towel, and you know, and I've done that too. You know, oh well, look, I've tried everything, nothing's worked. It's just my metabolism. I've got no choice. It's a bit well me, and you know, I've been there before, but for some reason this particular time, and I reckon it was because of what my wife said to me, I said to myself, you know what, I can do this. I can succeed. I just need a plan, and I need to stick to it, and I need to ride through the discomfort, because cutting things out, like sugar, for example, there's discomfort. Cutting out alcohol, cutting out chocolate, not eating bread. You know, these things are, you know, they're simple, but there's discomfort associated with it, and it's much easier to fail on these things than it is to succeed. But it was that comment from my wife that was a turning point. So I put this to you before we go any further. What is the point of pain for you? What is it that's stopping you from succeeding in this part of your life? What could it? You know, what is it? I don't want you to answer it to me right now. I want you to answer it for yourself in the next little bit. But I want you to think about it. Why are we failing at this? What is it about us that's not winning this particular battle? All right, I'll leave you hanging on that question. That was nice of me, wasn't it? All right, let's go back. Okay, blah, 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 prioritize. Exercise, let's do this one. Okay. Part 3 is really about activity, and as I said, if you don't like the word exercise, that's fine. It's not about exercise. It's not about necessarily going to the gym. It's not necessarily about playing sport, but it is about being more active. Okay. So what we're going to do as part of the program is we're going to give you an activity plan, and that'll be based on what you enjoy doing, what you've done in the past, what you'd like to try in the future, and some other suggestions along the way. Now, it can be done at the gym or it can be done at home. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and you don't need a lot of equipment, but you probably need a few pieces. You are going to have activity every day, and it's going to have a combination of weight training and cardio. So you've got to change your muscles a little bit, and the reason we want to change your muscles is because we don't want to make them bigger, but we want to make them more effective, because the best calorie and weight burning mechanism in your body are your muscles, because they chew through so much energy to perform normal function. But for most of us who are not active, our muscles are just not working at their optimum. They have poor tone, the muscle fibers are not strong, so we need to get some strength back in there, some action back into those muscles so that they start burning some weight for us. And for anyone on the webinar tonight who's done any weight training, I really enjoy going to I actually enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy weight training, and one of the things that one of my coaches said, Alex, when you do a leg workout, when your leg's stronger, either by doing weights or walking or jogging or whatever it is, hiking, you are strengthening the biggest muscle group in your body, those quadriceps, those thigh and hamstring muscles, and that's your weight burning machinery right there, because those muscles are going to chew through lots of calories for you. So when you think about activity, finding the right sort of activity for you, where you are with your health, but where you are with your level of current activity, that's super important, and that's what we're going to do as part of the program. The way that you train will depend, on where you're up to in the program, and if you do use a personal trainer to assist you, that's awesome as well, and we're happy to, we can talk with your trainer to make sure that they understand what you're trying to achieve, because I've had lots of weight loss patients over the years come in and say, I'm going to the gym a lot, and I've got a personal trainer. I see the personal trainer 3 times a week. But then my next question is, well, why are you here in this program then? What's not working? You've got a personal trainer. Why are you not losing the weight? Because if you're doing it right, you will lose the weight. So what we want to do is make sure you're doing the right kind of exercise or activity, and we want to prioritize it so that it becomes something you do. And that's one of the big shifts that I made myself. I was well out of the process of being active. And what I needed to do was to make activity as normal a part of my day as brushing my teeth. Now, I'll put this to you. Would you go to bed without brushing your teeth? And I'm sure you've all done this. I certainly have. If you happen to go to bed because you don't have a toothbrush or whatever, or you've forgotten, how easy is it going to sleep if you haven't brushed your teeth? It's you feel weird and uncomfortable about it. That's how I want you to feel about activity. Oh boy, I didn't go for my walk today. Oh, I'm not happy about that. I really miss it. Or oh gee, I didn't get to the gym today. So that's the point we want to get to, where activity is not something you go and do because you have to. It's just it's a part of your regular routine, and that's really, really important. We can get there. We can get there pretty quickly. Okay. Part 4, and this is the biggest one. We can't talk weight loss without talking mindset. Okay? Because what you think, the way that you think about yourself and about food, directly impacts what happens in your body, in terms of what you put into your body, what you take out of your body, the activity you do or don't do. So we've got to make sure that we change our mindset. And here's the first big one. There's a lot of them, but this is the first one. You are not going on a diet. Okay, and I mentioned this before. Diets don't work. You are not going on a diet. This is not a diet. Okay, this is not, Alex's new version of, the CSIRO diet or the Atkins diet or whatever diet it is. This is not a diet. What you are going to do is to change your diet, and this change must be sustainable. Remember right at the beginning I said I hate Band-Aids, and I said, if I've cut myself, I'll put a Band-Aid on it, yeah? But if I've got some kind of injury, I want to make sure I solve the issue that's causing the injury. If your diet is not good, I want to change your diet so that it is sustainable, not just for the 12 weeks of this program, but for the next year, for the next 4 years, for the next 10 years. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have, naughty foods if you want, from time to time, but it does mean that the bulk of your diet must be changed. And look, that's probably the hardest thing we're going to do, but it's going to make the biggest difference to you. Oh yeah, that's a bit of an afterthought. You must be committed to change. Of course you must, because if you're not committed to change, the program will not work, and I can't help you. Quite frankly, if you're not ready to change, I can't help you, because you're going to have to do things differently. The power of visualization, yes, that's a bit of an afterthought too. We got to start thinking in a different way, and really a big part of the program is helping you to do that. All right. So my 11-part commitment to you, that sounds very serious, doesn't it? Look, these are the 11 key parts to the program. So we can start to get a bit into the nitty-gritty now. Okay, part 1. And I can't see what's coming, so bear with me. Part 1 is 12 weeks of serious support. The Canberra Weight Loss Challenge. This is the pilot program, okay? So we're only launching this to our VIP patients who are on our list, all right? So if you're on the clinic list, you have first access to this. After this first 2 weeks is completed, we're going to launch it to the public at a price point too. Okay, so this is part of the pilot program, which is, it's really cool. It's going to be good fun. 12 weeks of serious support. It's a 12-week program. In that time, you're going to start with an initial consultation. You're going to get a tailored treatment plan that talks through what we're going to try and do, how we're going to try and do it, and then we're going to put it into action. It's going to include acupuncture and herbal medicine, which is going to look at weight loss and rebalancing the digestive system to make sure you get more bang for your buck in terms of the food that you do eat once you start making those changes. Weekly herbal medicine will support weight loss and digestive function. You'll also get nutritional advice and meal plans, and in a minute I'm going to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. Aina. Aina's terrific. If you haven't met Aina already, she joined us earlier this year, and her particular interest is nutrition, activity, and weight loss, and she's excellent in this area, and she's going to be running the weight loss program for the clinic, and she's prepared a whole bunch of nutritional information that you're going to have access to, and she's going to talk you through your individualized nutrition plan, which is really cool. All right. Part 6, I know it seems like a lot of things. Supplement advice. Supplements are important, particularly when it comes to protein and managing those 5 meals a day. We're going to talk you through that, show you exactly how to do it. I'm going to show you how I do it so you get a really clear picture of what to do. And I think there's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of rubbish out there in the marketplace in terms of what you should and shouldn't be eating. A lot of the protein bars, a lot of those supplements are, yes, they're low in fat, but they're really high in sugar and high in salt, and they're not great for you. So there's a bit of a minefield there. I want to walk you through that. Part 7 is the online video coaching program, and this is really part of what I describe as the hand-holding component, and it's the thing that I didn't have, which I wish I did have. I did an online program, but there was no hand-holding. It was really just follow along. This program is developed by us for you. You have your own program, and the online video coaching is really supplemental to give you the information and the knowledge you need to be able to, put the program into action. And yeah, it's pretty cool, self-explanatory. You get an exercise plan, which can talk about what sort of exercise to do, when to do it, and how to go about it. And what we can do, if you do use a personal trainer, we want to talk to them. We also want to talk to you about if you're going to set up something at home, if you're not going to go to a public gym, we need to talk about what sort of minimum basic equipment you're going to need to do what you need to do. This is pretty cool. if if you want, and you can take me up on this if you like, I like going to the gym. So gym for me is fun. When I'm next in Canberra, if you want to book a train with me session, I will come with you to your gym on a guest pass, and we'll train together, and I'll show you what I do and how I go about it. Because there's a lot of personal trainers out there who are not getting a lot of good results. I'm no personal trainer, but I know how to get good results, and I can help you with that. And last thing there is 3 lifeline phone calls, and I put this in because looking back at past clients who've struggled with the program, it's because they didn't. I think it's because they didn't have the support they needed when they really needed it. So these are 3 calls you can make during the course of the 12-week program. If you're struggling, or I should say, when you're struggling, because you will, whether it's with food or with activity or mindset. You can make a time, and let's talk it through. Let's get you back on track, and that's really, really super important. The other thing I didn't put in there is there's going to be a closed Facebook group where we can all get share information, share success, share recipes, share inspiration. If you want to, it's going to be a closed group, so it's just for people who are on this particular program. So really, those are the core parts to what we're going to be doing. And the thing that makes this different to every other weight loss program is that we're going to look not only at the nutrition and the activity side of it, but we're also going to look at what's happening with your mindset, and we're going to use the Chinese medicine tools to really assist, support, and turbocharge your weight loss. And that's a pretty cool way to do it. All right. So what does the program look like? And here's an interesting question. What is the cost of better health and potentially lifelong change? Well, there's a cost to it. But the way it's going to be delivered like this, there are 2 components. There is a one-on-one face-to-face component, and Dr. Aina Teleki, who is one of my Chinese medicine practitioners, and she's fantastic. And I mentioned her earlier. Aina is very, very cluey and interested when it comes to nutrition, dietary advice, and activity. So she's going to really help you with your acupuncture and your herbal medicine, but also coach you through your diet, the supplements, all that sort of stuff. That's the one-on-one. That's the personal stuff. Aina is going to be your contact point throughout the program itself. In terms of the other components, the online component, well, look, what we're going to do is once a week, you and I are going to sit down in the same format we're doing now and do a live webinar just with the group, just with this particular pilot group, where we can answer all your questions and tweak your program. Okay, and that's really valuable, because that's another opportunity to really get that support. The video training, the online training, talks about diet, nutrition, what to eat, when to eat it, how to eat it, the recipe advice, all sorts of stuff, and we'll try and get some other experts in to talk as well on those videos. And then, as I said, the closed Facebook group. So that's the online part of the program, and it's all designed at giving you the best possible opportunity for success. So what's the program investment? Look, the in-person stuff, your initials, your returns, your review consultations, the weekly online group coaching webinars, the weekly herbal medicine, the 3 lifeline emergency phone calls with me, the closed Facebook group, and the complete online coaching program. When we launch it in 12 weeks' time, at the end of this pilot group, we're going to launch it for $2,992. That's the complete cost for that program. But we're going to do a little bit differently for the pilot, because I really want you guys to have the benefit of this. We're going to do it this way. What I'm going to include as a bonus is the online training, the 3 lifeline emergency phone calls, and I didn't put it in there, but also the weekly webinar will go in there as well, and that's a pretty big saving. So you've got a couple of ways to do it. Let me see what the next one says. Aha! When do we start? Good question, Alex says. When do we start? You know what? Let me come back to me. This is important. When do we start? You know what? We have to start now. We can't delay. Why? Because procrastination is the enemy of weight loss. I know from experience that this is true. Okay, so if you're serious, and think about this for a minute, has this information resonated with you? Does it make sense? Nothing in here that is, kind of completely reinventive. All we're doing is we're taking pretty standard knowledge about nutrition and activity and combining it with the centuries of clinical work in this area with Chinese medicine, and we'll look at changing the way you think and feel about food, but even more importantly yourself. So if this resonates with you, then the time to take action is now, because I know from experience that if you don't take action now, you're probably not going to do it. All right, it's as simple as that. So I'm going to make it really simple. Okay, really, really simple. There are only a handful of places left next week to start this pilot program. Okay, in a minute I'm going to put a box. It's going to pop up down there somewhere. I'm not sure where, but on your screen there, and it's going to say something like, start now, or more information. I want you to, when we're done, as soon as we're finished, I want you to push that button, and what it's going to do is take you to a page where you can actually book in your consultation. Okay, don't do it now. I'm going to put the button there in a minute. But if this is for you, I want you to do it straight away. So what I want to do is just finish off back here, in the sense that what is this going to work? If we're going to make a start today, you've got two ways to do it. I want you to book in now. Okay, very simple. You can take care of your investment in two ways. And look, I'm as uncomfortable talking about money as you are, but we want to offer a service is, I believe, affordable, but also costs enough that it really gets significant commitment from you to yourself. Because what I don't want you to do is to commit to me. I don't want you to make a commitment to me to lose weight. I want you to make a commitment to yourself to lose weight. That's the biggie. So you've got two ways to pay it. If you can pay it up front in one go, and we'll take 15% off. So all you're gonna pay is, and you can see it right there, $1983.90. Otherwise, if you're going to, you can also go on a direct debit over the course of the 12 weeks. Actually, it may be on the next screen, is it? No, where is it? No, back. Anyway, it's 15% more than that. Okay, so if you want to take advantage of the better price, that's what you need to do. Okay. When do we start? We start on Monday. Okay. I know already, having looked at the program, all of the slots for Monday have been pre-sold. There are a couple of places on Tuesday and throughout the rest of the week with Aina, and she's going to look forward to hearing or seeing your names pop into the diary shortly. So Monday is the launch date for this program. Okay. So this is what I want you to do. I don't want you to procrastinate. Okay? If you're serious about this, you ought to do it now. Put your name in the diary, make a start, and see how you go. Now, I haven't put any kind of guarantee on this because, look, I can't guarantee what your results are going to be. But I'll tell you this. If you follow the program to the letter, I mean exactly as we give it to you, if you follow Aina's advice, if you turn up to the weekly webinars, if you commit to the change that's necessary, if you're not making the sort of progress that you want to make, then throw the program in. If you don't believe it's working, give it away. Okay, so you've really got nothing to lose. If you don't want to do it at the end of the day, we will let you out of it. No questions asked. But what I'd much prefer you to do is to commit to change, commit to success. Let's set those goals together. Let's work together to make this happen. And you know what? I'm committed. And I'll tell you why in a sec. Let me just see whether I've got any more slides. No, I don't. All right, so I can go back out of that. I hope that worked. Oh, anyway. We're still live. I hope you saw those slides. Yeah. Anyway, the kicker for me is that I'm doing this program right now. Yep. On Monday, I'm going to do it with you. I'm starting, and my goal is minimum 5 kilos in this 12-week period. A little bit more would be awesome, but 5 to 6 is my absolute minimum. I want you to think about how much would you like to lose, how much you prepared, how much need to lose perhaps, and how far can we get in this time frame. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you a box, as I said, join the pilot program. Click. There it is. So I hope that's popped up. It should say join the pilot program, and you can see that there's a, if you're going to pay up front with a 15% discount on the pilot price, it's $1983.90, or it's a weekly payment of $194.50. It's entirely up to you. Look, you don't pay anything now. All I want you to do today is to commit to yourself to making the change, and to do that by, in a minute, don't do it yet, in a minute I want you to hit the Get Started button, and that will take you to a sign-up page. And what I want you to do is to click the first button. Will say Initial Consultation, and then I want you to click with Dr. Aina Telecki, and you spell her name A-J-N-A. Aina, go through, pick your appointment, put yourself in, and then we'll be in touch in terms of confirming that appointment. But the first step is to commit to yourself and commit to change. So that's really it in a nutshell. I'm really excited to be doing this with you. If you jump on the program with me, you're going to see quite a lot of Aina in the first 12 weeks. You're going to see me online, to see me in the videos. You're going to get the webinars. You're going to see me on the page. You may even call me with your 3 emergency lifeline calls, and I hope you do, because what I want to do is to commit to success. And I really believe that together you and I can do that. All right, so what I want you to do in a minute is we're going to go down and get you to hit that Get Started button. But before we do, I wanted to open up to questions. So if you've got any questions about any part of the program or the presentation or the price or anything about weight loss, I'd love you to post your questions up there, and we'll spend a couple of minutes answering those before we finish up for the night. Okay, so fire away, and if there's no questions, that's cool as well. I'll give you a couple of minutes to give me your questions. I need some background music or something, don't I? Actually, it's very quiet. The kids are in the background somewhere. I wonder what they're doing. Maybe they're in the bath. No questions? No questions means that I've done a really good job. It's really clear. You'll certainly have questions along the way, and we will answer those as we go. Last chance for questions. No questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our pop-in. What I'd like you to do is do it now. Click on the Get Started button, open a new page in a new window, select Initial Consultation, select Dr. Aina, find a time next week that suits you, and let's make a start. Let's commit together to making change. Thank you very much for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. It makes a big difference to me to know that you care enough about yourself and care enough about our opinion to come along and listen tonight. And whether you take me up on the pilot weight loss program or not is up to you. And if you do, we're 100% behind you. And if you decide not to, we're 100% behind you also, either way. But we'd love to see you in the program. All right, so hit the Get Started button, go and make a start, and I look forward to seeing you in the clinic. So bye for now. There's a question there about one of the videos unable to access from email. The video, what you can do is if you're going to jump on the program, the video, it's one of the videos from the online coaching program. If you're not going to jump on the program, send me an email, dralexperry@gmail.com. I'll pop it in actually. I can't spell. Send me an email and I'll send you the link again and see whether that helps or not. Okay. I'll just hang around a couple more minutes just to make sure there's no other questions. But weight loss is, to me, starts here. We've got to start to think about change first. And I'm really psyched to get rid of this five kilos. It's it's bugging me. So it's a good time to actually any time's a good time to start, but right now is definitely the way to go. If you're still on there, I'm just going to put a little poll out. Start the poll. Here we go. What is your greatest weight loss issue? Is it eating the wrong foods? Or are you sure what the wrong foods even are? And that's often one of the questions we do get. Okay. So again, thank you so much for coming along. I really hope that you do jump on the pilot program for the weight loss challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be hard work, but I believe in you, and I think you can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to the bookings page. If you want to jump on, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I'm going to sign out myself for now, and thanks again, and I really look forward to seeing you in the clinic soon. Bye for now.